I thought that we would get these super capable kind of blue collar robots way before this reading and writing thing became at least somewhat possible. And so the inversion that we don't know how to pick parts out of a box, but we know how to, rewrite the Pledge of Allegiance the way Donald Trump would write it. Those two tasks, the robot task I thought of as much easier, and so it would come first.
Yeah, that's really sharp observation, Bill. And there's actually a thing about it, which is Moravec's paradox, which is that the perceptual task that looks seemingly easier for humans are actually much harder for AI compared to, say, chess game, which is harder for us, which is actually easier for AI. And in fact, that inversion happens in other ways as well. So I'm currently proposing this thought, generative AI paradox, where it might be that somehow generative capabilities are stronger than the understanding capabilities, which again may be a little bit inverse version of how humans tend to be able to understand, amazing novels, but we just find it harder to write. And again, paintings we can appreciate without being able to generate those great paintings. Whereas right now it looks as if these capabilities are a little bit reversed, because when you look at DALL-E 2, DALL-E 3, it's able to generate amazing images, but then there's no amazing current AI that truly understand the image content in a way that surprises us. Like they're lagging behind, weirdly enough. So it might be that between generation and understanding capabilities, there's something interestingly reversed about it.
But it's almost a paradox that in the near term, the risk is that we kind of overuse it, like take advice from it, and it would be wrong. In the long run, maybe the fear is that it's too good. I mean, you've been in your talk, you expressed that because it's such a different kind of intelligence. It's both the, quote, smartest by some definitions and the dumbest, like in medical applications. My foundation would love to have the equivalent of a doctor for poor people, who can never get access to that expertise. But, how do we test that? How cautious do we need to be when we have a hard time characterizing what we've got here?
Part of me wonder whether, that hypothetical agile-like capability, if it did exist and if it's so good, can it actually really answer some of the hardest questions that humanity faces, like climate change? Again, some people disagree. What is it doing? And can AI really help answering those kind of questions in such a satisfactory, such a high quality, reliable manner? If AGI really truly comes, and I don't know, is it actually going to be good enough for that kind of purpose? And then that relates to your wishful thought about doctors. We somehow need to create these AI technologies that can benefit humanity better. But are they actually going to be super reliable? How much of a gap will there be? And I think that's very uncertain right now. We want to believe that it's around the corner in some sense, especially those technologies that can be really beneficial for the humanity.
No, in my 20s, I definitely thought, like for language translation, that there would just be a set of processing steps, okay, this is a noun, this is a verb, and that it would be kind of an explicit piece of logic. And so when Google found that their logic approach, which was a pretty large team, hundreds, was just beaten by their neural net approach, that was the beginning of this mind-blowing thing. So yes, we are often naive, particularly about what it takes to match human capability.
I don't know for sure whether we are really around the corner or we are just opening the can of a lot of curious fundamental questions about intelligence, and it might turn out to be that it's a lot messier than we expected. It's a lot harder than we expected. And then building really reliable, trustworthy AI turns out to be harder than we thought. So I'm not necessarily saying that, that is truth either. We just don't know how far or close we are.
Subscribe to Unconfuse Me wherever you listen to podcasts.